Good day to you, Jason here, Birchfield Family Farm, Oxford, Ohio. We're running grass-fed Red Devon cattle, St Croix sheep, and chickens in a rotational grazing system. I have a good word for you today. This comes from Isaiah 44. This is what the Lord says, Israel's King and Redeemer, the Lord Almighty. I am the first and I am the last. Apart from me, there is no God. Who then is like me? Let him proclaim it. Let him declare and lay out before me what has happened since I established my ancient people and what is yet to come. Yes, let him foretell what will come. Do not tremble, do not be afraid. Did I not proclaim this and foretell it long ago? You are my witnesses. Is there any God besides me? No, there is no other rock. I know not one. Okay, so much has happened since our last video here. First and foremost, our hearts go out to all of those affected by the hurricane, the devastation. We have friends in Tennessee that we've been hearing from, photos and information, just unbelievable. Folks around Asheville there, 20 to 30 inches of rain. Just unbelievable. Hearts go out to those folks, and now's the time for the church to step up and to shine and to be helping those folks in those areas. As far as us here, 4.2 inches of rain. Of course, it's one extreme to the other, right? Just before all of that moisture rolled in, most of our county was upgraded to a D3 exceptional drought, right? So we go one extreme all the way to the other with more than 4 inches of rain here in the past 2.5 days. And I tell you, everything is green back up. We took quite a bit of wind, but it was amazing to me to continue to watch the counterclockwise rotation on that whole system there, even through yesterday. You could still see it, and it was almost like the bands of rain kept continuing to come around and hit us. And thankful for that moisture, and thankful for the way that our ground here has not flooded. We held on to everything, soaked it up like a sponge, and everything is definitely greened up. But need to do a sheep and a cattle move today. We're going to head out there and do that. And also wanted to talk today about our St Croix sheep, cover crops, and our vegetable gardens that we have here. And those three things we've discovered here over the years really fit together like pieces of a puzzle. Our St Croix sheep, cover crops, and vegetable gardening. And we're going to go over that because it's that time of year now where we are sowing our overwintering cover crop mix. We're going to get into that. We're going to move some animals. Let's do it. Okay, so we can hear animals. I can hear animals hollering from here. Let's get out here and move them first. We are still on paddock 8 here, and I kept both sheep and cattle in paddock 8 because I knew there would be some pugging. We'll go out here and take a look at this, but north of 4 inches of rain, you're gonna have mud, you're gonna have slop, and I did not want more than one of the paddocks experiencing that pugging. So we kept them in one place, fed a little hay. I think I ran, what did we run? About 300 pounds of hay through them just yesterday. And they're ready for a move here. So we'll be moving today from 8 on to 9. Let's take a look here. This was from September 20th, in the midst of the extreme drought here. Look at these paddocks. Of course, we still stayed fairly green in our paddocks that we had not grazed yet. We took a little more. We went over that last video, just moving through that time, trying to buy time during drought, but then compare that to the aerial shot that Sam just took today, 9 days later after this 4+ inches of rain. Look at everything. Just completely greened up, bounced back, and I'm really hoping this gives us at least one more shot at a run through the paddocks here yet this season. Okay, so yeah, you can see we've got quite a bit of pugging here. We did this intentionally though. We're gonna use this to our advantage. Paddock 8 here. My goodness, look at the mud around that mineral. That'll be fun getting out. But paddock 8 here has always been one of our lesser performing paddocks. We kept chickens over it through the winter. Last year we had roosters. And, you know, I figured putting down some additional hay right now, running that through them, getting them to stomp. I mean, look at how they've stomped in that hay, that manure, just really worked this surface up here. And we're gonna come right behind them after we move, and we're gonna put some seed down. We're gonna put an overwintering mix down. We'll get into that, but let's get them on the move. Okay, we got Sammer up there with the eye in the sky. Get these guys moved here. Eight head of Red Devon cattle right now. And we've been adding ewes to the mix here this fall. I'm trying to fill all those orders we've had coming in from you guys wanting to buy stock. And I think we got a pretty good looking flock here. What, 30, maybe 32 out here, 32 ewes out here now. And we've got, what, 7 or 8 rams up in another smaller area. But they're going to town. Yeah, so you can see this, you know, compare this paddock 9 here with what we're coming off of. Obviously no comparison. We just absolutely annihilated paddock 8 here. Again though, that was intentional. Gonna throw some seed down there, green cover seeds, overwintering mix. And let's get out here and take a look. Got some pretty good stuff here for coming through drought. Obviously everything has greened back up now, but you know, pulling this up, I mean, we're knee high, over knee high here on a lot of this. So some pretty good forage here for them to be on. And actually this works out well because this paddock 9, this piece of ground right here, right out in where the sheep are, that is our highest point of elevation on the entire farm. And so I did not plan that, but works out very well for today. Shouldn't see that pugging with this amount of forage and just the ground soaking that up and having some time to really kind of relax after that rain here. So let's say there's 12 inches of forage here, standing forage on the ground. We know 200 to 300 pounds of dry matter forage per inch per acre. So if there was 12 inches here, we're on a 1/4 acre paddock, about 750 pounds of dry matter in this 1/4 acre. So let's back into how long could we stay here. You know, say we got 10,000, we got every bit of 10,000 pounds of live weight animal here. We're needing, well, you know, we fed out 300 pounds of hay yesterday. So 300 pounds of dry matter. I'd say that's probably on the low end actually. And if we've got 750, we can stay here, I'd say about 2 days. And that's if we've got 12 inches everywhere, which I don't think we do. Yeah, so I'd say about 2 days. After 2 days, they're gonna need some supplemental feed, possibly even within that 2 days here. I would not be surprised if we see some scouring, some dirty behinds here with just how dry it was, and then all of a sudden it got wet. That's just hard on everybody. And we've got very, very lush stuff now. You know, nitrates, that's kind of, I'm thinking about that here. We might do well to actually, well, 2 things there. You know, putting a little bit, airing a little more on the side of some dry hay will certainly help them. They're not going to touch it when they've got the green stuff, but also keeping that acid neutralizer full in this thing here. That I believe it's an OH, yeah, OH on the end there. And yeah, we got some in there. Yeah, so that's good. That'll help them out. Anyhow, so I'm planning on about 2 days. We could run hay through them that 3rd day. We'll see what the impact looks like. I'm expecting around the mineral in the water here is going to be a little heavier impact. Shouldn't be anything like paddock 8 though, but we'll see. So I got Sam coming out. on a new to us John Deere. It's an old John Deere 300. We got two of these things, two John Deere 300s for 200 bucks. Neither one of them ran. Some guy pulled them out of the woods with a bobcat on a property he was rehabbing and just wanted them gone. And I thought, you know, that would be an excellent project for Sam. So it went down and they didn't even run, had to push them up on a trailer. But special thanks to Jeff M locally here, who helped Sam's a ton of knowledge on small engines and what to do, and just kind of gave Sam a list of things that he needed to do to check and to get it running again. And by golly, it fired up. And I have Sam's face here when he got it going. Maybe I'll throw a little clip of that video up here. But you know, this is just to pull the mineral around when we need to. We got that little seeder on the back there. We were using the zero-turn mower, and it just was not a great fit for that zero-turn. Zero turns are more for mowing and not for working. And these old 1970s John Deeres, I tell you, they are just bulletproof. I love them because you can take apart stuff and clean it. It was before we hit the whole disposable age here, and you know, you can put it back together, and pretty easy to take care of, straightforward. And so happy to have this thing going. It's got hydraulics on it. Sam's been loving messing around with this thing. I don't imagine these turf tires are going to do too well in this this muck here, but we'll give it a try. We are putting down green cover seeds overwintering mix here. This is kind of our staple cover crop over the winter. That gives us a good start anyway. I like to add to this mix. Here's the mix here. Rapeseed, cereal rye, black oats, a little bit of triticale, winter peas, hairy vetch, crimson clover, and then some coatings, microbial coatings there. And I do like to add purple top turnips in there to the mix. By the way, they recommend 60 pounds. You can see at the top there, 60 pounds an acre, but we're broadcasting, so we need to increase that. Now we're on a 1/4 acre here, so I did about 15 pounds of green covers overwintering mix. And then I like to add about another 5 pounds of rye. I'm really a fan. I'm a fan of the rye, cereal rye anyway, just because there's stories. One of the reasons, there's stories of guys doing that as cover crop mixes around here. It'll actually plug their field tile. The roots go so deep, and it's awesome to graze on in the spring. We'll go over that when we get to the garden here. But anyway, make a long story short, I use the overwintering mix, add some additional cereal rye, and then also I like to use some daikon radish in there. I like my purple top turnips. Those purple tops grow. You can take those inside, fry those babies up. Woo! Anyhow, that's our mix here. We're putting it down today. Supposed to be some additional rain yet today. And I think it's going to be good. This is like perfect conditions for putting this down here. I like to get this out, they say, about a month before first frost. We're a little bit late here. First frost usually happens, now we're within probably 2.5 weeks here, mid-October usually. And so it's good we're getting this down. We'll get something. But the later you get it out, I noticed, the more rye you're going to have that really does well, and everything else kind of peters out. Just my experience with that. But still going. Oh yeah. So we'll get this down, and then in March, early March, this paddock here, this will be the only thing, and anywhere else that we've sown this will be the only thing green on the entire farm. And those ewes that are in late gestation, needing all that good stuff, all that energy, we can get them turned into here and graze this actually in March when your fescue and everything else is dormant. This is going to be going crazy. And we've done this on the garden, and we'll head that way here in just a minute. But love this mix. It works for us every year. Not affiliated with Green Cover, just enjoy their seed, very high quality. Now I know some of you are going to say, well, why didn't you sow that in there when the animals were in? You know, the cattle will stomp it, you know, and you'll get a lot better seed to soil contact. And I hear you. I just do not like spreading grain with ruminants. I don't know. I just want to keep our stock a true grass fed here. That's our goal. And so, yeah, you probably could stomp some of this in. I just don't want them eating it. You know, the seed's got some coatings on it too that I don't think it's unsafe for the animals, but just don't want to take any chances. And anyhow, just ideas here for, you know, we've talked about this too, about the cost of cover crops. If I can get 2 or more grazes, then we're cheaper than hay putting out cover crop. And it's not just that, it's not just the cost, but you're getting those soil health benefits. You know, those roots on rye going down deep. I know some folks around here that do the triticale, and triticale's just a cross between rye and wheat. Okay, and it's the advantage of triticale that I've been told is you've got a higher digestibility there. And I don't think that it really is as aggressive of a grower in early spring as rye. But again, looking at the whole picture, cereal rye is fine to graze before it heads out. And I'm looking more for those soil health benefits. I want some roots that really get in there. We don't have any drainage tile out here, so I want that stuff to really go deep, create some pore space, and just keep something living and growing in the soil all winter long. One other thing to note too, you will hear about seed drills and using seed drills for cover cropping, and I do think that is a superior way to seed with a drill. Unfortunately, you know, very expensive. You got to have a lot of equipment, and you know, to do a 1/4 acre paddock, I don't know how that would go. We don't have a drill, but consequently, you know, understand this time of the year, the fall, we've got these flocks of birds that come in here, mostly cowbirds, and we've seen them here recently. They'll land on the animals, actually be picking flies and stuff off the animals, kind of a symbiotic relationship there, and that's really good. The problem is when you broadcast and you don't get that seed down into the ground, then you're going to give a lot of it up to the birds. And you know, I understand that. It's just the way it is. But if you have a drill or you have access to a drill, you will do much better. Matter of fact, talking about triticale, that's another reason that I kind of shy away from the triticale, because it does not do as well broadcast. You really need to drill that, and you need to get it down in the ground. I've heard guys having really, really great luck on that. I know a local guy that does the triticale and does silage, cuts it in the late spring, early summer, and just has a tremendous amount of success with feeding out that bagged silage from cutting that triticale. So, you know, it just depends on your scale, your context, and what you're wanting to do, like we always talk about. Okay, I just told the boy to get that throttle up and get over as close as he can to this muddy area here. I don't think this thing stands a chance with those turf tires on it. It is not 4-wheel drive, so I think we're probably just going to spin, but keep her going fast here and see. Oh yeah, that seeder's not very heavy behind. All right, I'll have him go from the other way, get a little speed up here. There we go. The old 300. That's not too bad for rear-wheel drive. I'm impressed. He's able to use those brakes on the front there, stop either tire. Nice job. Oh, what a mess though. Goodness gracious. I used to get real concerned when this would happen. And it does take a little while to recover. But you know, thinking through this, we're not going to be back on this until mid-November this year, if we get another pass at all. And so this sitting all winter, it'll all level back out, and seed will sprout, and by next spring you won't even know it. So heading over here to garden, we'll check in on the system that kind of started all this with the cover cropping and the overwintering mix here. Will kind of show you, walk you through what we do on our vegetable garden here with sheep and cover crops. Kind of the system that we use that has worked for us over the years. We use this black fabric. You can see we had tons and tons of wind coming in from the east here, and it's actually blown that up over. Looks like she's doing some celery and some sweet potatoes here. And sweet potatoes are one of those things you need to let go right up until frost. Somebody here on the channel made my day the other day. I think it was somebody from Kansas. They said, hey, we took a page out of your book and we used the black fabric and we did sweet potatoes, and we had just a really bad drought. But she said the bright spot in the whole drought was they went out and dug those sweet potatoes, and they were just amazing. So that made my day. It really did. But you know, kind of where we're at here, we're doing some Brussels sprouts, some peas, kind of some cool season fall crops. And then of course we've taken this row out and sown our overwintering mix. Sweet potatoes, those will come out soon. And then we were able to get this section seeded here with that overwintering mix. It was 6 days ago on Monday. And then we sowed this, I believe it was Thursday. And look at that stuff from Monday already coming up. Big picture though, the way that we do this section here came out first. So those were our green beans. Take the plastic up. Everywhere we do a 6-foot row of the fabric, we put down about 3.5 pounds of seed in that section, or in that row. That overwintering mix, add a little bit of turnips, a little bit of daikon radish to it. And then as we take those sections up, as our annual vegetables finish up, we take those sections up and sow this winter cover. And that does a couple things. I don't really like the look of the soil underneath when we first pull that fabric up. It does hold moisture really well, but I think because we walk on it, we do get some compaction. You can kind of see it a little bit there. You know, it gets walked on. The advantage to this is, so here's the system. Put the overwintering mix down now. Come in March with the sheep. When there is nothing else green in the pastures, and you're going to have this cereal rye, the hairy vetch, all of this stuff in here that is just amazing grazing. Just rhymed there. But they're going to come in and they're going to eat this down, okay, in the spring, and then we're going to hay them after they've gotten this eaten down all the way. And that hay is just, that's additional biomass that you're going to put down. You're going to run that, a lot of that, through the animal, so it's coming out as urine and manure, and that's giving those ewes the last 6 weeks of gestation. With ewes, that's when those lambs are putting on 80% of their weight. So that last 6 weeks of gestation is absolutely critical. You've got to be feeding them good stuff, and I love being able to come in here and graze this down. The sheep just love it. I'll kind of throw some shots up here of last year getting in here on this stuff. You can see just how green it was, and then putting down that additional biomass in the hay. Now, normally doing this on a regular garden, you would not want to use hay because you've got all those weed seeds in there, clover seeds. You don't necessarily want that in your garden. So as soon as the sheep come off, some years we'll bring the chickens in, the layers in the chicken tractor, and we'll run them across. And then as we run the chickens, they're harrowing and digging through everything. Then we'll reapply. We'll put down that black fabric in rows, and we save that stuff. It lasts us about 3 or 4 years. It's reusable. Stake it down, then plant your vegetables. Everything we start from seed: tomato, pepper. Genetics get better every year, and we put that stuff in, and then we drill holes and we mix in our Johnson Sioux compost that we make from all of our sugar maple trees that give us good maple syrup in the spring as well. it's just a giant system that has worked for us over the years. Building soil organic matter, why is that important? For every 1% of soil organic matter we increase, we are able to hang on to an additional 20,000 gallons of water per acre. I think that's pretty amazing. And anyhow, that's the system we have done here, and it's worked out well for us. A little more work up front in the spring, putting down the fabric and staking it. A little more work in the fall, pulling it up. But during the season, you hang on to the moisture, okay, and you have zero weed pressure. We do not pull, we really don't pull a weed all season in the garden. You know, that just keeps everything in, and keeps the weeds from coming up, and lets your summer annuals really just take off. She canned our whole year's worth of beans, green beans, on this section, and we had other people coming out to pick, gave some away. She freezes some whole, and it got to the point where it's like, man, this is too much. She said, I'm actually going to scale back next year. And so we ended up just pulling these things. I collected the seeds from the green beans, and we'll chuck those out to pasture, mix that in our warm season grazing mix, and let those be grazed next year. Those green bean seeds, those will come up, and just all kinds of stuff you can do, getting creative here. And you know, the more we just passed 8 years that we've been here, that we've owned this place, and it seems like the more that we get into this, the more joy I find in just developing systems, you know, systems that work year after year. And that can be challenging because of all the variables, right? Poor soil, the weather, you know, seeds, and getting germination right, and just so many things that can go wrong. But you know, I find the more that we get our hands dirty and really dig in, just the more that we learn experientially. You know, and that's one of the things I want to pass along too, is anybody can say anything online, but I think the ones we listen to are the ones with experiential knowledge, the ones that have experienced it, have actually put their hands on it. And I think that goes for spiritual advice as well. You know, I'm much more apt to listen to somebody that's a little bit older, has a little more wisdom, and has been through things than I am somebody that is a little younger. Not to say that young folks don't have valuable things to say, but you know what I mean. We have quite a few some older, wiser folks in our life at this point, and just love listening to the wisdom that's there, and we benefit greatly from that. Kind of makes me think of just tall oak trees, right? Just that we're able to come under those tall branches of the older folks, and the wisdom that's there, and able to come in and find shelter under those branches, and the Lord provides for us in that way. So anyhow, this is our system, and you know, let us know. I'm sure others will have ideas out there. We've dripped our Johnson Sioux extract in compost over this cover crop, not this section out here. I did do it on this row here. But looking forward to more experiments on that Johnson Sioux and that extract as well, upcoming. It's getting to be about that time of year. These leaves will start falling. We've had two Johnson Sioux systems back there. We'll collect those, move those to the milk house, the contents, and then that'll empty those so we can put the new leaves in. And every year it's a system of pulling material out and refilling those, and then overwintering that compost in our milk house over there. We actually do heat, have a heated system for that Johnson Sioux, but that's just how much we believe in good compost, and it produces a great end product here. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. Here comes the rain now, starting again. Perfect timing here on that seed. Let us know if we can help you out. We do sell St Croix breeding stock here. You can find us on the website, birchfieldfarms.com, if you need to send us a message or connect to us. We do have a waiting list on our sheep for next year. I always tell folks, though, get on it. You know, that list can change. Anyhow, I love the seed. I love seeding other small farms. I love seeing other farms thrive. You know, I'm into more of the teach a man to fish rather than give fish away, right? That just has always resonated with me. And so I love seeing other farms that we've seeded with our grass-fed St. Croix sheep. I love seeing them thrive. Those sheep multiply. And to me, just creating that, the system on grass where there's a thriving, and that thriving carries over then to the family and to the local community. And in these times, we have got to get back to simplicity. And to me, that means doing all we can with what we have, which is grass around here anyway. And so I would encourage you in that today. Thanks for hanging with me, and be at peace today. Be blessed. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.